What's up, Black Knight Nation? This is Alex Abishan. I'm Logan Tabor. Welcome back to another episode of Black Knight News.
And this month is Autism Awareness Month. We got to sit down with Liz Galt and talk to her about how we can assist people with autism.
Hi everyone, my name is Jackson Beers and this is Liz, and today we're going to talk about autism awareness.
Hi, my name is Liz Galt. I'm 25 years old. I have a disability called autism.
How has autism affected your daily life?
So autism has affected my daily life because you have to try 10 times harder. Like with my autism, I repeat myself and I stim and I use sensory toys. And so sometimes people would be like, why do you repeat yourself? And so I'm like, it's just part of my disability. So being in a normal ward is a little more, because with autism, our brain's still developing, so some of my brain parts still work like a kid, and so people with disabilities aren't judgmental about that, because we kind of learn the same way, because we're at different levels, kind of like puzzle pieces, because they're trying to find the missing piece of the puzzle. So our brains kind of scattered all over the place, kind of like puzzle pieces are scattered all over the place. For example, people with autism are considered geniuses in different ways. Like I have a friend with autism who can memorize every deck of cards in people's hands, and who can memorize a deck of cards forwards and backwards. And I can also, for example, I can say my ABCs backwards. And so with autism, you just see it in your head. It just stays there like a photo album, photo book, picture frames, and pictures. That's how we see things. We see things in pictures, not words. So.
All right. So you've mentioned stemming a few times. What is stemming, and how would someone react to that?
So stemming is the way we release tension when something's wrong, or if we're overwhelmed, or sensory overload, or overstimulated. For example, every person with autism stems differently. Like some people pace back and forth, some people rock, some people like do this with their hands, or like do this. For example, when a person with autism stems, people should ask, "Are you doing okay?" or tell a teacher to make sure they're okay. And it's just a way we release tension. So it's kind of like a electric coming down your arm, and then if you don't stim, your head kind of feels like a hoarder's house, like piling up. And when you stim and let it out, it just releases it all, kind of like you're deep cleaning everything. For example.
What are sensory toys?
So people assume sensory toys are like toys that like little kids play with, but sensory toys is a tool, kind of like how glasses is a tool to help people see, hearing aids is a tool to help people hear. It helps people because it helps with our five senses, because people with autism, five senses don't work well like people without autisms do. For example, with autism, I don't like bright lights and flashing lights, but I learned how to cope with it. And for example, smells, like I don't like the smell of Taco Bell because it's like it starts filling up your head and the smell is just overwhelming and I run out of the building. And I don't like the way jeans feel, because jeans to me feel like poison ivy, itchy all over my legs. And I also don't like loud noises, for example, like clicky noises, tappy noises, because it feels like echoing going off in your ears. And so Autism Awareness Month is important because there's over 100,000 cases of autism diagnosed per year, and the rate is dropping, which is getting worse, and it's 1 in 59 people every day. And so we celebrate that day because we want to raise awareness, find a cure and a cause, and educate and help other families who are struggling, because the cost to raise just an autistic person, just for the autistic needs, is $65,000 a year. And also Autism Awareness Month is important because we can be ourselves, and I feel like people understand us more in a way, because it's all day to celebrate.
So what would you want people here at the school to know about autism?
The include them in the lunch table, because school kind of felt like a prison to me, kind of like being in maximum security prison, because you were scared of what people were going to think of you and do to you. So it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm in a prison, I need out of here. So it kind of felt like, oh my gosh, what are people going to think about me? The hallways are so crowded, So at lunchtime, kids never invited me to sit with them. I had food thrown at me. I was pushed down a flight of stairs in school. I've had textbooks thrown at me. I was called dead battery retarded robot because I repeated myself and needed a new battery. I had rubber bands flicked at me, So school kind of felt like, oh my gosh, this is scary. What am I gonna do? And so my mom, who was a special ed teacher, she passed away on Halloween 2011. So she kind of created a special needs table. So that kind of felt like a security blanket, like safe and secure, kind of like, you're around like security guards and cops that aren't going to do anything to you. So it kind of felt like that kind of way. And so other kids got to sit at the table, and also I've had my head slammed on in lockers too. So what I want kids to know, that people with autism and disabilities are just like everybody else, and no two people with autism are the same. I want people to know is, hey, just include them and make them feel like everybody else. Don't make them feel like they're in a bad area, a dangerous bad area.
I understand you have a nonprofit organization, iPads for Autism. Tell me a little bit about that.
So I have an iPad for Autism business. It's nonprofit and it's tax deductible. My iPad for Autism business helps people get iPads who are considered nonverbal autism, nonverbal disabilities, or very limited communication skills. Nonverbal disabilities such as, say, CP, Angelman syndrome, Joubert syndrome, and other nonverbal disabilities, for example. And so what I do is I buy the iPads and buy the app, which is the Pergola Go 2 app, which is a $250 nonverbal app. So you can add like pictures of yourself, add pictures of words, like take pictures and say, I want to eat French fries, and you can like add French fries or type it in. That way they can recognize it. And so you can also do text to speak to, like say, I need to see a neurologist. So it's basically whatever comes out of your mouth and stuff. And you can also send text too. That way they can actually communicate with you. And so I'm working on my 7th one, and I have tons of people on my list. So it's really helpful, and and a lot of speech pathologists recommend it. But the app's so expensive, a lot of families can't afford it because they have a lot of personal stuff going on in their lives. So that's why I provide it. And it's really helpful.
Where do you get the funds for this?
Big businesses donate. Like a few days ago, I had a donation from a company in Wayne County, $1,500, and I've also had businesses, organizations, people, and I also contribute to this cause too. So it's really helpful, and I couldn't have done it without them because I would be like, oh my. So this year I've raised over $11,000 so far, and then last year I raised $6,000, so altogether about almost $20,000.
Right. So how could someone who wanted to support your business do that?
For example, if anyone wants to donate, they can write a check for iPads for Autism, Liz God, and that goes to First State Community Bank, and you tell them iPads for Autism, Liz God, because that goes in my business account. And also, if anyone's interested in an iPad, they can message me on Facebook. Thank you guys again for letting me come speak, and if you have any questions or know anybody who's struggling with autism, just let me know. And I also work with families in the homes and help provide sensory toys and sensory products to families who can't afford it either.
Thank you guys for that beautiful segment.
You ever want to know how to make tacos? Let's see what's cooking.
Good morning, FHS. I'm Chef Ray.
And I'm Head Chef Alec.
And welcome back to What's Cooking. Last week we sent out a Google Doc asking what you guys wanted to see us cook, and turns out Mexican won.
Let's go get some input from the students.
What's your favorite Mexican dish?
Chicken, cheese, and rice.
And Jonah, what's your favorite Mexican dish?
Nacho Roble.
What's your favorite Mexican dish?
Tacos.
Tacos, okay. My name's Raymar. I'm here with What's Cooking. Brian, what's your favorite Mexican dish?
I don't know, tamales?
Okay, let's go.
Oh, hey! Hello, Bryce. What's your favorite Mexican dish?
Tacos.
I got a question for you. What's that? What's your favorite Mexican dish?
Nachos fajitas.
What's your favorite Mexican dish?
Quesadillas.
Hi, Scotty. How you doing? What's your favorite Mexican dish?
Burritos?
I'm here with What's Cooking. What's your favorite Mexican dish?
I don't like Mexican food.
Oh, that's unfortunate. All right, let's go. My name's Raymar. I'm here with What's Cooking. What's your favorite Mexican dish?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I always order the same thing because it's easy. And chicken quesadilla. No, I lied. Chicken chimichanga. Because it's fried. We all love fried, right?
That's true. All right, thank you. And Miss Southern, what's your favorite Mexican dish?
Ooh, I love pollo primavera. It's so good. Yes.
We're back in Head Chef Alec Burke's kitchen.
Oh, am I late?
A little bit.
Where are we at?
Ingredients.
Ingredients.
For this recipe, you'll need ground beef, tortillas, taco seasoning, and chips.
So we don't really know what we're doing, but I'm pretty sure you gotta start with a pan.
And something to start with. So you're gonna want to put it in there until it browns. Gonna make a big mess too. You also gotta make sure you turn the heat on, which we have just barely done apparently. You gotta break it up so it becomes just like a, like taco meat. If you haven't had taco meat, well, that sucks, I guess. Voila, it's all in there.
Okay, so now that we've got the meat nice and browned, we're gonna go ahead and get that grease out of there.
All right, so you're gonna want to, shake up this little pack of taco sauce. I actually don't even know if that's taco seasoning. I don't know if that's effective, but we're gonna do it. You make a big mess, right? You dump all of it in there. You even gotta. You just start mixing it in. Like how you make tacos.
Next, you're just gonna add in some water, 3/4 cup to be precise. Just get that in there, spread it out nice and well.
So, nobody likes super cold cheese on, not cold things. So, just to make it a little bit easier and not as gross tasting, we're gonna throw a little bit of cheese in here just to make the meat, just cheesy in general. So now you see some of the cheese, like some of these, like darker pieces are starting to melt and mix in.
Alright, so we've got our tortilla here. I've heated it up just a little bit so it tastes a bit better. So now we're just gonna get some meat. Ooh, look at that nice cheese. Just put it in there. You don't want to get too much, otherwise you're not going to be able to roll it or fold it. I'm probably adding too much myself. Now, disclaimer, right? I don't know how to fold this. So, pretty sure you just take these ends in and then you roll it? Question mark? Parentheses. Do you roll both sides? I'm going to just roll the one side, see how that turns out. Alright, so I think this might be as good as it is going to get, folks.
All right, so now Head Chef Alec is gonna come in and try what we made. All right. Yeah, pretty good. Good job, guys.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this episode.
Next episode, we'll be cooking breakfast food.
Thanks for watching. What's Cooking?
Good morning, FHS. I'm Head Chef Alec Berg.
And I'm Chef Ray.
Let's go get some input free. Dude, how do
It turns out Mexican
Now we're
won.
gonna get some student input. Wait. Oh, hey, how are you? What's your favorite Mexican dish?
Guatemalan.
Cool. What's your favorite Mexican dish, Isaiah?
Probably like nachos, yeah.
Whack. So, yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to What's Cooking.
Did you hit record? I sat down with the choir director, Miss Nays, and we talked a little bit about the positives and negatives of being involved in choir. She also told me some advice to anybody who's interested in joining choir about what to do and how to go about it. Take a look.
Probably the thing that I want everybody to know about choir before joining is that this is not the place that you have to have super awesome skills to join. This isn't the place. You don't have to be an opera singer to be in choir. You just have to have a desire. You didn't go in to start algebra knowing how to do all your algebra formulas and what a variable was. You learned that in class. And what we do in choir is we learn to not only sing and your fundamentals of singing, but we learn to work as a group towards the same goal. We learn to take a back seat on ourselves and for the good of the group, in addition to being a leader in the group, because we need those leaders. And everybody is a very important member of the team. It's not just a starting lineup. We have no bench. It's truly everybody is important. You get a fine art credit. Choir is a year-long class, and that meets every other day. So it takes you an entire year to get a fine art credit, but you do get a full credit. You do have to maintain academic eligibility for MISHA because we do MISHA sanctioned events, and so academic eligibility is very important. There are also a lot of studies that show that being involved in music improves your reading and your math scores because it uses both sides of your brain. We have 4 types of choirs here at Farmington. We have a girls' chorus or a treble choir, and we call them nightingales. So those would be the higher voices, usually female voices, although men have been known to sing higher than girls. It's physically possible. So treble voices. We also have a men's chorus, which is our tenor bass voices or our low voice choir that are typically men. But that's our men's chorus, and those groups are open to anybody who wants to join. You don't have to audition for those. All freshmen go into one of those choirs or the other, no matter what. Sophomores and up have the opportunity to audition for our other 2 choirs that are mixed, so men's voices and women's voices together. And we have a cappella choir, and they're the people that wear the robes. They sing at graduation, they sing at baccalaureate, and they of course give the concerts and things, but that is an auditioned choir. A love, or maybe not a love, but an enjoyment of music. My goal would be that you love music, even if you don't go on, because I am not expecting every single person that comes through my doors to go major in music or to become a professional musician, but I hope that being in my class gives them an appreciation and at least an appreciation of what goes into making a performance, so that when you do go to a concert, you know kind of the work that went into it, and it makes you appreciate it a little differently. And you know, when you are grown and you are a tax-paying citizen, that you remember your time here fondly, and the time that you spend in choir, and I know that Mr. Nace feels this way about band too, that you remember those experiences, and those are the ones that stick with you for the remainder of your life. Come sing for me. I'm awesome. Choir's awesome. You'll have fun. And I'll keep bugging you until you come sing to me. It's gonna happen. You might just, get it over with now. Come be in choir.
Okay, and our next segment is gonna be over the movie Shazam and us reviewing it.
Welcome back to another episode of Movie Review. I am Austin Talley.
And I'm Garrett Sheets.
And this is
Movie Review. Starting off today, we're going to have a synopsis of our popular movie Shazam. Everybody asks which superpower you'd rather have, flight or super speed. 14-year-old Billy Batson doesn't have to answer that with one choice. When he says the word Shazam, he gets both of them and more. He needs to make sure he knows the superhero adaptations before the evil Dr. Thaddeus Savannah finds him and tries to take his powers away. He won't be asking nicely. With the help of 5 other foster children, Shazam fights the evil doctor and hopes to save the world.
Okay, so on to the ratings. So far, it has acquired a 7.6 out of 10 on IMDb, a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, and a 71% on Metacritic. To some, this is an amazing review, but to others, it may be even worse. But I still think it was a good movie.
It was very interesting.
Yeah. Okay, and now we're gonna do some reviews from other people. Quotes. Shava Pandey from Book My Show said, even though Shazam isn't one of the most well-known superheroes from the DC Comics, his origin story has turned out to be the best DC film in years. So a second quote that was said by Pat Padua from Washington Post says, Shazam operates as a thrilling fantasy and a comedy about the learning curve of growing up. I really think this implies to the movie considering Billy is still a kid at heart. Just because he got the powers doesn't mean he isn't a kid. So some miscellaneous information that some might want to know, some might not. With only a $100 million budget for this movie, their 10-day total of last week was $95 million, which is amazing. And another little fact that you might not have known, is this movie is based off the new 52 versions with the characters and powers from the comics. Now on to some more character, okay, I'll restart that. On to some more character traits. Savannah, he was an amazing villain. I'm really not throwing him down for that. And the fact that he was led on to be the potential Shazam candidate really put him down his path of destruction and evil. And I'm definitely satisfied with how he played that role. And Zachary Levi played Shazam really, really well. He really embodied the character of being a kid while having this overwhelming power and everything. And the fact that he had to play Shazam, but Shazam is playing Billy Batson, basically meaning he plays two characters at one time. He really did an amazing job with being able to play the kid role, but at the same time be that superhero. All in all, Levi did very well, and I think I'm glad to be seeing if he does any more movies.
I'll be very happy to see that.
Yeah, and with the already confirmed contract with multiple movies maybe on the way, we're gonna be seeing him a lot more.
I truly hope so.
Thank you for tuning in to this movie review. Again, we'll be back in the next couple weeks. We'll be reviewing a brand new movie, and we'll hope you enjoy. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Austin Talley.
I'm Garrett Sheets.
This is
Movie Review.
I'm here with the coach of the tennis team, Coach Cantor. How you doing?
Hey, how are you doing today?
So how long have you been at Farmington?
This is my 13th year being here at Farmington, and also my 13th year of coaching the boys tennis team.
All right, what kind of impact does being a teacher have on the kids while also being a coach?
You know, I think having the connection with the students in the classroom is key. You know, you see them on that side of their life, you know, and then also being their coach, you get a little bit more personal with them, you connect with them a little bit more. I think you have a little bit more of an influence over them. I believe you can hopefully direct them in the way that they need to be directed to get through and have a successful high school career.
All right. How do you feel about the players this year?
We've got a good team. We've got a good mix. We've got some experience coming back, but we also have a lot of new players. Several players that this is their first year ever playing at all. Overall, you know, I'm excited about them. They play hard. They try hard. Some of them aren't getting the results they want right now, but I think, you know, with a little bit more practice, a little bit more effort, you know, in the off season for next year, I think we could be right where we want to be.
What do you expect from your team when it comes to districts?
Well, obviously, we would love to win our district. I think our district is winnable. I also think that if we made it to the district championship, that would be a big goal for us. You know, we haven't been there in several years. We've run into some really tough teams in our district that have really stepped their games up. So if we can make it to the district championship, that'd be great. We definitely don't want to be one of the first teams out.
So who is your biggest surprise this year as a player?
My biggest surprise is Blaine Worley. Blaine come to us from the baseball team. He decided not to play baseball this year and came out to play tennis, and really has picked it up. He's trying really hard and playing really hard, and he's ranked number 4 on my team. And you know, he gets frustrated. He runs into some times where he wishes he was doing a little bit more for the team, but he has to understand he's only been playing tennis now for about 6 weeks. So definitely a surprise, but a pleasant surprise.
Okay, so I saw in the paper that you and your team honored the coach who passed at North County. How does it make you feel you and your team were able to do that?
Yeah, Coach Mary Hain was the coach at North County. She coached there for 34 years. Whenever I took over coaching for Farmington, she was the coach that kind of took me under her wing and showed me how to coach and showed me how to do it, not only the ins and outs of it, but how to do it the right way. And you know, I owe a lot of my what I know to her, and Coach Hain has really missed. You know, we honored her by wearing blue headbands at the match versus North County to show our support, wearing their colors. And I know she would have been proud and she would have been honored for that. But yeah, it's tough, but and that day was not something I was looking forward to.
Last question. I noticed you are an Auburn fan. How do you feel about them getting as far as they did in the NCAA tournament?
Well, it's definitely exciting. You know, Auburn football has always been kind of the team I've always followed, but now that they're actually decent in basketball, it was nice to follow them there as well. They came up just a little short. I think, you know, there was some controversy at the end of that game. I felt like there was a double dribble that didn't get called. They shouldn't have ever been able to give up to commit the foul at the end, and this, that, and the other, and then Virginia goes on to win the championship. So I'm proud of them. I think they've got a really good recruiting class this year, one of the top in the nation, so hopefully they'll be back next year.
All right. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
And that'll be all for today's segment. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification.